Superman thing, you just flew into this? Well, did you use a plane, or?
I might have painted this one.
You know, there's so many projects out there these days that create fantastic worlds. You know, images take us to other dimensions, other times. Tell us about this one. What was it about this project and the vision of it that you found most appealing?
Well, I've always been into the world of ancient Greece and certainly the fantastic vision as well. Tarsem was the one true element that got me attracted and passionate about it.
Terrific. And Kellen, tell us a little bit about your character.
He's the god of wetness and
that just came.
I fish, I love to swim myself, and it's kind of a fun uncle that is.
He's the salty one, is that right?
The salty one.
Fantastic. And Luke, Zeus, I mean, that's a tall order to fill. You know, we talked a little bit already about gods being young. How do you play Zeus? I mean, is he informed by, does he have an ancient voice, or is he a young man in his voice?
No, we left the ancient voice to John Hurt.
You can't really speak like John.
Yes, exactly.
It was a difficult one. It was a challenge. We used to see Zeus as an older man. He's always been portrayed by older actors. So this was a new slant on the role. But like Tarsem said, you know, if you were a god, you'd want to be young and in your prime of your life. You wouldn't want to be old.
Like Mark Hamill.
Like Mark Antony, yes. So yeah, that was a challenge, but it was fun to play and take on the role of, you know, King of the Gods and all the other kings that Zeus encompassed.
That's great. And Stephen, you know, with a movie with characters of this size and scale, it's easy to get lost. You know, your character is the one that maybe the audience might connect to the most in a way, don't you think?
Yeah, Stavros is a slave. You know, he meets Theseus on a slave train, and ultimately he decides he could be on his own. What's happening in the world, or he can join forces with the group, and it only helps that we think those characters in that mix. I think Stavros is a bit horny as well, and the rest is the rest.
That's great. And Frida, what's it like to be in a movie with this size of campus? I mean, it presents a different set of challenges, I would imagine, for an actor.
Definitely. This was my first ever big budget film, and I had just stepped off 2 really small independent films. So it was going to be a lot more challenging. I think you've got to have a lot of patience when you do a film like this, because especially when you're not on set every day, you have to wait your trailer and you've got to be patient enough, and you need to be able to be dedicated so much time every day, even though you know you're not going to be able to fly first thing in the morning. But it's really a teamwork at the end of the day, and so it's great to work with someone like Tarsem who gives you that freedom to bring in whatever you would like to bring to your character. So it didn't feel very different in terms of performance. It didn't feel very different from an independent film, but the whole logistics of it is very different.
Sure. You know, and I mean, you look down this road, you see actors who are in, you know, like as you mentioned, The Hobbit, The Man of Steel, Twilight, Rise of the Mark, is everybody just like stealing your BlackBerry here? I mean, how are these people getting?
Well, again, along with the studio, Tucker and Ryan, our brothers, Johnny and I always pride ourselves on what's next, just like Comic Con does. We're looking for originality, we're looking for cutting edge, we try to stay away from the bullshit of the past and bring something new to everybody. And Tarsem, of course, having such a great vision of the movie to begin with, the casting was relatively easy and came together beautifully.
Okay, who has the best Mickey Rourke story? Come on,
everybody does.
Who's got the best one you want to say in public?
I never met him.
None in public. No, I would like to straight I think the word, very simple one, because Mark, he tells me what to do now, he tells me to speak up. Okay, so it's very short. Mickey would come on set every morning, and we would have to make sure that Mickey would be on time, and Mark was in charge to do that. And Mark would come back right away to me and say, why don't you do that? And then I would go, and then I would go back to Mark and say, why don't we do it together? And then Mickey would come and say good morning to Mark and call him producer number 2. And Mark would be a little bit upset, and I was very happy. That's my little story. Steven Dorff was happy too.
Fair enough. Hey, so Henry, I'll ask you another question. You two are going to lose their mind. It's fantastic. Is everybody happy to see Henry? You haven't, this is your first Comic Con, is that right?
Yeah.
How's it going so far?
Great.
When you look for the voice of a character, a character like yours, where do you start? I mean, it's for a modern audience, but I mean, it's a story from the past. How do you find the voice of it?
That's a tricky thing because you don't want to make it sound too stuffy and holy-woly, as you say, but at the same time stay loyal to the age of the character, like these things. So it's a tricky one. You still find a fine balance and play it out to get along. Really, just try not to be too English about it and be too American about it.
Fantastic. So tell us about sort of the genesis of this project and the beginning of your involvement.
I think when they showed me the movie about gods in the Greek times, I just thought I wanted to address the idea of gods. And my mom had said something to me about a year and a half ago that kind of started this whole thing for me, which was, I've been an atheist since I've been like 9 years old, and she's very religious. And she turned around to me one day and said, I was just saying something deeply blasphemous to her, and she turned around and said, how do you think you're as successful as you are if it wasn't for my praying? And I thought, you know what? I want to make a movie where a guy like me dies and goes out there and God and goes like, you schmuck, I've been wanting to give you crap, but because of this woman's praying, I gave you all this success. So it started from there, the idea that there are gods, why don't they interfere? Why is there all the misery in the world? And the idea was how to solve it. Do you go with free will? Do you go with a whole bunch of issues that I thought if I could put those into the script, I'd make it happen. I started with them in the script, and now they're a little bit there. They're not my DNA, and they for me to feel as my friends.
Fantastic. Well, I think you guys want to watch a little bit more. Maybe watch some of the footage. This is a 2D footage.
Yeah, I'm going to show you